Hello, Husson University Immersive Audio students and anybody else out there on YouTube that is joining me here. This particular video is going to be about making a mix template and how to use a mix template. I think all the pros use mix templates. In Pro Tools, it's really easy to kind of save all of the things you use in every mix in that template, like your master bus and your folder tracks and your window configurations and all the effects returns you use in every mix. Set them all up, save them in a template, and when you start a new song, you can just import the tracks from the new song into your template, and you don't have to set that all up every time. So it's a great tool, and certainly students, you want to start doing this. And you need to in the Atmos environment because things have gotten very complicated where you have multi-channel object beds and, complicated headphone routing and all this stuff. So this video will show the process of creating a template and then importing a new song into that template. What this video will not show is all of my weird routing in my template. I'm not going to discuss that. I don't have time. That would be a much longer video. So I'm just going to delete all of the instruments and drums routing and everything that's in this particular song. And I'm just going to save the master bus stuff as part of the template to kind of keep the video shorter. So this is a song that's, big and complicated, and I'm going to save it as a new version here. And I'll save it to the desktop, and I'll just call it My New Template. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it 02 because it's my second take doing this. And with that done, I'm going to delete all of my instruments. Now, you don't need to delete all your instruments when you make your template. You may want to keep your snare bus and your drum bus and your New York City compression bus and your vocal returns and all of that stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff in these music tracks here that I use and I keep in my template. But think about it for a moment. How do you colorize things? How do you route things? How do you name things? If you name things the same way every single time you mix, set it up and include it in your template. But in this situation, I'm just going to delete it to keep this video nice and short. It's asking me, do I really want to delete? And I say yes. So I've cleared it out. While I'm deleting, I certainly need to delete any hidden playlists. Luckily, I deleted all my tracks with playlists, so they went away. You will want to clear out all your audio files that are associated with the tracks you just deleted. This is an easy process. Open up the clips window, go select all, and I'm going to hit the clear button on the keyboard. I think clear button's up here as well. There is a clear. And do you really want to delete? Do you want to move it to the trash? Blah, blah. Do you want to erase from the hard drive? No, just remove. We're just going to remove it all from the session. Other things I need to do before I get ready to make a template out of it. All my effects returns I've kept here because I use them, and I'm going to disable all of them and I could just select all of them here in one big fell swoop and go I'm make inactive. And so I've made all my effects returns inactive. And these are effects returns that, every time I do a mix, I come up with something cool and I save it for my next and put it in my template because I might use it later. And that's what these are. These are just effects ready to go. And all the busing is all set up, named the way I want to make it really quick when I mix. So this is my template and it's all ready to go and it is ready to be used to mix a song with. And so I'm going to start mixing a song with the template, and which kind of brings me to one of the most important questions. Now that you have a template and you're given a song to mix, do you import all the session data from that song into this template and work? Or do you do it the other way around where you open the song and import the template into the song? And you can go either way. Pro Tools is forgiving and the software supports either workflow. I tend to do it where I keep the template and I import the song into the template. And I do this for one specific reason. I do use a lot of specific memory locations that are keyed to certain numbers and memory locations that open up window configuration. So I click on memory location kick number 3. I pull up the number 3 on my keypad, and then I see all my plugins for my kick drum, or I see all my plugins for my snare, or I see all my plugins for the bass. And if I were to import this session, this template, into a song that a client gave me, these would all be renumbered if the client's song had markers. And so I don't want them to get renumbered. I'd rather import the song into this and have their markers get renumbered because they're mostly visual anyway. So anyway, that's my workflow. And what we're going to do is I'm going to save and close my session. and look at what the client has sent me to be mixed and use the template. So we've got this. Here is the template that I just made, and here is the song. It's called Song to be Mixed. And I'm going to open up the folder, and here it is, Song to be Mixed. And the first thing I'm going to do is name the song Song to be Mixed 01. This is going to be the version of the file that the client gave me, and I'm not going to mess with it. And then I'm going to duplicate it, Command D here. I'm going to make Song to be Mixed 02. And often I like to prepare a file before I import it into my template. So I will open it up. I'm going to open that up. And this song is going to be pretty simple. It's a short song, and it doesn't have a lot of data. If it had a lot of plugins, you would have to make some decisions here. Do you want to import their reverb or their, demo EQ or whatever? Do you want to import them into your session, or do you want to erase it? Do you care about the panning suggestions or not? These are decisions you'll have to make. If you care about the panning decisions, don't delete the I/O. In this particular case, I'm going to do this song in immersive. I'm actually going to delete all of the I'm going to reassign all the outputs to nowhere and all the inputs to nowhere. And then I'm going to go into the I/O, and I'm going to delete everything in this session. And I'm going to do that so it's kind of blank. Okay, it won't let me do that. It won't let me do that. I deleted a little too much there. Let's try that one more time. Go back in. Actually, will it let me now? There we go. So I've kind of cleared the session out. Of course, this is the second version. I can still go back to the original version. Now I'm going to close this, and I'm going to copy my template from the desktop into this folder, and I'll call this Song to be Mixed 03. This will be the third version of the file of the song. Let's sort by date here so we can see it at the top. And I'm going to open up. Open the wrong one there. That's not good. Come on, Eric. Fast fingers there. I'm going to open up version 3. And version 3 is my template. It has no data from the song in it at all. And I'm going to import tracks into here, and all the tracks are going to end up to the right of whatever track I have selected. So I'm going to go File, Import Session Data, which is Option-Shift-I, if you like the macro. And we're going to import from the previous version here. We're going to import from Song to be Mixed 2, the one that I've kind of cleared everything out, so there's not going to be any errant data imported into my mix. And then here, I can select all of my tracks that I want to import, select all, and they're all going to import as a new track. If my template had a kick drum track in it, or a bass track, or a vocal track, I could choose what tracks the original song import onto, which is kind of nice. I tend to just import it once and then drag the files to where I want them. But you can do that way. And other things you probably want to import, you probably want to import any tempo, key signature, and memory locations from the song you're going to mix, like verse, chorus, bridge, all that kind of stuff. And then one thing to consider is, what are you doing with the file data, the audio files? Do you want to copy them to a new location, or do you want to just link to where they currently are? And of course, I put this template in the folder of the song on purpose so it could be right next to all its audio files. So all I need to do here is link to source data. I don't want to make any new copies. So now if I hit OK, it's going to import all these tracks. And all these tracks have no routing, so my I/O doesn't get corrupted. Of course, if you really wanted to keep the pan data, which in some situations you would want to import that stereo bus that they were on and then just not use it. But anyway, all of these tracks, the tracks for the song to be mixed, I can just kind of, obviously, if I were really going to mix this, I would sort them out into categories and bust them and route them. But just to start with here, I can do to selected, Option-Shift select here, and I'm going to send them all to my object bed. And I'm ready to mix in my template, and I'll press play here. And I think we just have to wait a second before it to come in. Oh, there's some sound. Let me bump the mic stand. But you can see here that, my headphone routing and is all working. And I would, my object bed, and I just have to start mixing, So anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope it's been useful. There's so many different ways you could do this that are different than mine, but if you are working in Atmos and you've got complicated object beds and all this stuff that you don't want to set up every mix, you really have to use a template. And so I hope this video has kind of shown you the basics of that. All right, have a good day. Check it. See you later. Okay, bye-bye.